welcome back to Open Everyone. So our second guest is an award-winning filmmaker, producer, writer who recently published her first young adult novel titled Brownsville Bred, Dreaming Out Loud. It's a story based on her autobiographical stage play, Brownsville Bred, that tells the story of one girl's journey growing up in the toughest projects in Brownsville, Brooklyn, in the 80s. And joining us to tell us more, we welcome author and filmmaker Elaine Del Valle. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's so great to be here.
It's great to have you again, Elaine. You are doing such amazing work. I mean, you should feel very, very proud of yourself, but as a Latina, or as, you know, the new political term is as a Latinx woman.
Latinx. Finally, when women are getting a chance to be acknowledged, they take away our A and give us an X. But that's okay. I'm working with it.
Well, you know, I'm working with it too, because I'm all about, you know, non-gender conforming, and to be honest, I'm all about equal opportunity in all aspects of our existence. So, but all that to say that aside from doing the work that you're doing for yourself, you've been doing a lot for our community, and it does not go unnoticed. And I just want to acknowledge you on air for making sure that as you're opening that door, you are welcoming people to walk through it as well. So that's a big deal.
I know what it's like to be the person on the receiving end of that door opening. So when people work hard for it, I make it my business to bring them along and help them up the way that I was helped up. So, or I always say, like, blaze a path, let other people see the fire.
That's what's up.
So they can follow, yeah.
Yeah. And so that leads me to this book, right? Because I know it's already been presented as a as a stage play. It's gonna be a screenplay. Yes. I already, as a stage play. You've won an Ola Award for the writing of the stage play. And now you've transformed it into, or converted it, or I guess taken that style and made it into a book for young adults, which I think is very interesting, right? Because that's the next generation. And I always pay attention to the intentions behind people's projects, and feeding the next generation, I think, is so important, and coming from that place of authenticity, which is what this book is about.
Thank you. Well, the stage play, Brownsville Bred, was so successful. You know, the New York Times wrote about it, from girlhood trials to onstage triumph. I mean, how much more exciting can that be for a writer? And when I was doing the play, I was approached by a publisher then who said, oh, I want to make this into a young adult fiction novel. And I worked on it for a while, but in the end, that year, a very famous Puerto Rican female had put out a book, I guess by a ghostwriter, that was collecting dust on the shelves, and they decided that Latinos don't read.
Ouch.
And that these, you know, this audience is not worthy of their market attention. And so finally, this is me publishing this book, and I actually feel a lot prouder than I thought I would, because I had done all the work for so long, and then another publisher reached out to me and said, I want to do this. I said, let me reread it, let me look, because my career is now mostly making films, and my deepest desire is to make Brownsville Bred into my directorial debut in a feature film.
Right.
Because, you know, I've been directing quite a bit.
Right, yeah, that's what you're doing right now. That's
so I've been very fortunate to be a part of the Sundance family, and a part of their labs, their directors' labs and their writers' labs, and I finally have the screenplay to a place where I feel like this is really bubbling up.
I mean, you've been writing the screenplay version for a good 3 years now.
Well, more than that. More than that.
I remember we had you here in studio, and while the other guests were on, you were actually writing on your laptop. Because
well, I'm always writing something. But more than that, but really, as I learned, thankfully, like I just said, being a part of the Sundance Labs and having the benefit of the knowledge of so many very successful writers, directors, producers, and really learning the everything that it takes to make a great screenplay, because the play stands on its own. The book needed something else. And the screenplay will be very different from even what you read in the book, but the emotional truth will still exist in it. And it's written, every single aspect of Brownsville Bred in every form is told through the eyes of a young Latina. So it's a girl coming of age, and we see her when she's 8, and we're basically with her throughout her teenage years until she gets out of Brownsville. And so it's one of these triumphant feelings that you get for her and her family as they make it out of this dangerous area, and all the things happening with the family, her father's heroin addiction, and eventually he succumbs to AIDS. Sorry to give away that spoiler.
Right, spoiler, but it's important, I think, personally,
yes.
To share those little nuggets that are going to feed the souls of, let's say, an urban individual who's looking for salvation.
Salvation, more, I don't know about salvation. I think more just to, if I had this book when I was that girl living in Brownsville, it would have helped me to know that there was another girl like me out there with a voice out there like mine. And, you know, the stage play, she's very joyful and effervescent, and, you know, 301 Sutter Avenue, between Rockaway and Mother Gaston. You know, she has this feeling. The book is a lot more, it's very poetic in some of the way that I've written some of the chapters, and a certain sentence that was in Brownsville Bred, the stage play that made people laugh, I made into an entire chapter to make it just hit home that this is who the girl was, that this is who she wanted to be, because the girl in the book, and me, I grew up as a minority living, and I hate that word minority, but I'll use it for this purpose, a minority living within a minority environment.
Right.
So here's a Puerto Rican girl living amongst black people. When I write my directorial statement and trying to get into these big director programs, I often say I grew up as a black girl screaming inside of a lighter shade of Latina body.
Got it.
And that is a very different and unique perspective that this book and the movie and will share with the world. But everything is, you know, every form takes on another life, and the film will be vastly different, but the arc will remain the same, and the emotional truth will remain the same.
So, you know, I know you say I don't know about salvation, but when at least when I read something that I can relate to, yes, there's that sense of relief that I'm not alone, but then there's also this relation of understanding that as a human being, that there's other possibilities, and that's what this book actually serves as, a possibility, and that's why I chose to use the word salvation. That you just said, oh, I don't know about salvation, but yes.
Well, the possibility, dreaming out loud. That's why it's subtitled Dreaming Out Loud, because we have to, as a community, we have to know that this is possible. And, you know, I work as a casting professional as well, and I very often get hired when there is an ethnic needed, when there is a Latino needed, and every time that happens, I very happily take on the job, prove myself, and give them great, fine talent attached to their programs. But then I make a note of writing, just so you know, I cast Caucasians as well.
Right.
And with our pool is so much smaller. That's why they come to me, because other people can't fulfill it in the same way that I can.
Right.
However, the vast amount of Caucasian actors that are out there, it's very different from the amount of Latino actors, and not just because of the population difference, but because those people were told
go ahead,
at a young age that this is possible and they can do it. And for us, I mean, at least speaking for me, I didn't really understand the possibilities that I can be a film director. Now I'm an award-winning film director.
I know.
I'm a playwright. I'm an author. I didn't know. If I knew then what I know now, I would have started a lot sooner. So people ask me, what would you tell your younger self? Believe in yourself today, start that path right now. And, you know, people say to me, I'm doing so many things, but no, everything is like this, a funnel into what I really want to be doing, which is, you know, creating films that express a voice, a female-centric voice, and especially whenever I have the opportunity to reveal a young Latina as someone who can be universally accepted and championed and rooted for, that's really my goal.
Oh my gosh, you're doing such a great job representing it.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for putting it in the form of a book.
I hope readers enjoy it. And if you are a teaching professional, please read it. Consider putting it in your syllabus so that children who are maybe of lower socioeconomic means can hear a voice like theirs in a book and think about themselves in that way. And yeah, I'd be happy to come out to schools, do a portion of the show. You know, I used to perform the Brownsville Bred, the stage play, at high schools and colleges, and that was a wonderful time for me. So I would do like a portion of the play, talk about the way that the book chapters resemble it, but how I adapted it and why.
How it all evolved into
yes.
this book form.
But it's all, you know, it's more IP, more intellectual property to where the feature film of Brownsville Bred, that will be my feature film directorial debut.
All right. Y pa que sepan, okay?
Yes.
She's talking the business aspect of it.
Say
That's
it,
what
but I mean
Elaine! All right, once again, you guys, to purchase the Brownsville Bred, Dreaming Out Loud, you gotta make sure you visit her website, and that's brownsvillebred.com. And of course, you can follow her on Instagram at Elaine Del Valle Productions.
And you can also purchase it on Amazon, Kindle. Go to your local library, order it there where it's totally free. And anywhere that books are sold, just go into a bookstore, say you want it, and they will order it for you.
All right, there you go. Amazon, you know, we're all doing Amazon nowadays. All right, once again, Brownsville Bred, available at any local bookstore as well as online.